So today we will start the class, okay, for MME 6134 Advanced Manufacturing week number 2. So my suggestion is please go through the videos today and then start preparing for your presentation. Your presentation is the final assessment of your course, okay, and this contributes to around about 20% of the total marks. So what is going to be the procedure for the presentation? So individual, so all students will be submitting the presentation or giving online presentation individually, okay, online solo presentation. 20 students will have 20 presentations. So I have allocated one day of your class, okay, which accounts to about 3 hours of class for presentation. So I will not be taking the class on this Sunday. I will reschedule the class for Sunday to another day so that you guys have time for presentation. Now on 20th of what you call June, you guys have presentation thesis, okay. So I believe that you guys are not going to be ready for the presentation for my course. I am sure about that because you guys have a lot of work to do on 20th, okay. So please recommend me a day. Okay, please recommend me a day so that I can schedule your presentation day. Okay, based on my calendar, I think 26th will be a very good day, Saturday 26th. So I'm thinking that 26th of June 2021 could be your presentation day for your MME 6134. Timings can be decided based on your own based on how you guys are going to decide. The way you decided the test number 1, you guys can decide how the presentation is going to take place on 26th of June. So is it okay that the day for 26th June, is it okay for you guys?
Doctor?
Yeah.
I think we need to, as last time, we need to discuss first among us, and then we will come back to you.
Okay, very good. So that's very good suggestion. So correct, I agree. So discuss, okay, discuss within yourself and then let me know on WhatsApp the group leader. Okay, so do let me know about the tentative date. Okay, tentative date of the presentation. So this presentation is going to be very important. MME 6134. So this presentation is going to have some proper template and proper format that I will give you guys, and then you guys can follow that template and then make your presentation so that everybody has the same kind of format, etc. Anyways, so this presentation is basically based on the topic so presentation will be based on surface engineering research paper. Okay, what does it means? It means that one student will be allocated one research paper. Okay, so one student will have one research paper. It means one student has to present only one research paper which is related to surface engineering. The research papers, the 20 research papers for each student will be selected and given by me. Okay, so I will be giving you guys the research papers. I will put 20 papers in a folder, and either I can allocate the research paper to each student, or you guys can choose yourself. So you guys can give me suggestion today whether you want to choose yourself or I should allocate every research paper in front of each student. Let me know. So each student has to select one research paper, okay, and that research paper is based on surface engineering, okay, based on the slides that I have given to you guys. So what is going to happen in that research paper or research presentation? What are you guys going to present? Okay. So because you are 20 students, okay, and if I give you 10 minutes, then this is going to be equal to 200 minutes. So this is round about divided by 60. So this is around about 3 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. So we will have a class on that day for 3 hours and 10 minutes where each student will be presenting his or her own work. And in that 10 minutes, you guys will have to present the slides that I am going to make in front of you now. Okay. So I will make a slide in front of you guys so that you guys can follow that template exactly. Okay, so let's say that I have allocated this paper to somebody. Yeah, okay. Let's say that I have allocated this paper to somebody. Okay, so how are you guys going to make the presentation? Okay, so let's make the title slide first. Okay, so copy paste the title, copy paste your name. Okay. So this will be your title slide for the subject 6134 manufacturing and surface engineering topic assessment. Okay, you can just copy this journal name, okay, and put it in the corner. Okay, so this is slide number 1, title slide that you are going to have. Now in the field of surface engineering or in the topic of surface engineering, that slide that I have basically uploaded is all about surface roughness, surface topography, 3D surface scan, atomic force microscopy scan. Okay, so once you are going to learn the videos that I have uploaded, then you will know what are the contents that you're going to write. But I will give you a brief overview of which topics you're going to include. Okay, so here you can see enhancing the tribomechanical properties of AA7075 by magnetron sputtering. Okay, this is basically a surface coating process. Okay, okay, this is AL7075. This is basically a material. What is this? This is coating. So these TIN, CRN, titanium nitride, chromium nitride, and titanium chromium nitride are basically coatings. Okay, so we have base material AA7075. We have got magnetron sputtering, which is the coating technique. So I'm going to upload a coating technique presentation or video for you guys also. And then what we have is types of coatings. Okay, so what is the first thing that you will do is, after you have written the title, okay, you're going to give me a brief overview of the coating technique. Just a second. Okay. So slide number 2 is going to be brief overview of PVD, which is physical vapor deposition. So this is going to be your slide number 2. You have to give some process overview. What are the characteristics of physical vapor deposition in PVD technique? Target material is sputtered onto the substrate. Okay, so add some basic process description, and then you add the picture of the machine. Okay, so if you don't have the picture of the machine inside the paper, then you can access PVD machine and go to online, go to images, try to get a schematic, PVD schematics, okay, which will give you an overview. So this looks like a very nice schematic. So copy this image, okay, paste it here, okay. This is good, and then copy the link or copy the reference, okay, and then put it as a figure label. So figure label is very important. This is reference. Okay, what is this all about? This is all about schematics of PVD process. So in the 10 minutes video, you have to describe quickly the coating process, okay, based on the paper that you will get, or I will allocate, or you will choose. It depends. But I will give you all guys 20 papers, and you guys have to select yourself which one you want to choose. So slide number 1 is the title slide. Slide number 2 is the brief process overview or process description. Okay. After the process description, now that we know all about the process, what are the parameters by which we can control the coating process? Okay, so let's move on to the parameters. So coating parameters. Okay, so you can go here in the research slide. Okay, go to the methodology. Okay, and here it has shown the coating procedure and the parameters that they have changed. So they have changed these parameters. Okay. So the parameters that they have changed are DC power, direct current power, temperature, and nitrogen flow rate. Okay, so here you are now telling me that these are the parameters for the coating process that they have changed in this research. Okay, that's good enough. What are the other parameters? Like they have deposition chamber has parameter of this pressure. Okay, so use this. Then they have got the power requirement has also been written. Okay, so you can add power requirement as well. Okay, so add the parameters of this machine. Okay, you guys should know that for which machine which parameters are required. Like for anodizing process, I will not be using 600 watt of radio frequency power. I will be using radio frequency power only for magnetron sputtering machine. For electrodes are used in anodizing as well as in PVD physical vapor deposition machine. So these are some of the parameters that you have to mention. Okay. After you have written the coating parameters, you should write the type of coating or coating material. Okay, so in this case, in my case, I have three types of coatings. Okay, number one they have mentioned is titanium nitride, chromium nitride, and titanium chromium nitride. So these are the three coatings that they have mentioned, three different types of material. If in the paper the coating is same, okay, but the composition is changing, then you have to write here the composition. So if the coating is same but the composition is changing, then you have to mention this also, that here this is 30%, this one is 60%, okay, graphite has been added, and this one is 0.01% nano particle cerium oxide has been added. Okay. So you have to mention based on the paper, based on the research paper, you have to mention whether the material type is changing or the composition of material is changing. Okay, so in this paper you can see that the type of the material is changing, not the composition. Okay. So after we have gone through coating parameters and coating materials, okay, now you have to mention the measurement. What are the parameters that, what are the properties, surface properties that they are measuring? Okay, so here in this paper you can see it's written surface characterization. Okay, so how surface was characterized, you have to write that. So in this you have to write surface or properties measurement. Okay, so here they have written, they have used SEM, scanning electron microscopy. Okay, then they have used focus ion beam technology. Sorry. Then they have used atomic force microscopy. This is something that you will learn in today's class slides. Then they have used Eligona 3D scanning system. And then they have used adhesion strength measurement system. So this is something that I will maybe upload tomorrow. And then they have used, this is what they have used for surface characterization. Okay, also they have done dry sliding wear testing to measure the friction and wear. So this is another thing, dry sliding testing for measuring friction and wear. So friction and wear is also a surface property. Okay, there are three main types of surface properties. Number one is surface roughness, surface topography, surface integrity. Number two is friction coefficient, and wear. Number three surface property is basically the, or coating property is basically the adhesion or adhesion strength. Okay, so do remember that we have to cover three properties. Number one is surface topography or roughness. Okay. Number two is tribology, which is the field of science which relates with friction coefficient. And wear is basically a process by which two material, when they move together, the material is removed, some part of it is eroded or some part of it has been removed due to the rubbing action. So this is called wear. And number 3 is adhesion strength. Okay, this is something that I will cover in the next slides. This has been covered in the today's slides already. This is something that I will cover tomorrow. So adhesion strength means that if I am going to put a coating on my substrate, okay, then if my coating is on the substrate, then how difficult it is to peel it off. Okay, so how difficult it is to peel it off or to remove it away from the substrate or to scratch it away from the substrate. So the more good is the adhesion with the substrate, the more is good is the adhesion strength between the coating and the substrate, then better is the coating. Okay, so these are some of the 3 things that you have to look in your papers. So number 1 is the title slide, number 2 is the process brief description, number 3 is the coating, okay, which coating parameters are used, and number 3 in the same thing we have got, this is, let's say, 1.0, this is 1.2, this is 2.0, then this is 3.0. So 3.0 is what are the coating materials, then 4.0 is what are the properties that what kind of machines or measurement techniques has been used. Okay, this is called measurement technique. Okay, so FESEM has been used to see surface topography. Okay, this is something that you guys should know after or today you can learn. Then focus ion beam modeling is used to see surface cross section. Okay, so if you go here in this paper and if you see this image, this is a focus ion beam milled image. In this image, what is happened is that I have a coating and that coating has been deposited on a substrate. Now using focus ion milling, I have removed some part of the coating using electrons, and now I can see is the depth part of the coating, which you can see in this figure. In this figure, you can see the depth part of the coating. So here you can see we have got the substrate, which is aluminum 7075. As you can see in the title also, substrate is Al7075 here. Okay, then we have got titanium nitride coating. Okay, so you go down and you see in the paper, in the figure number A, we have aluminum A705 substrate, then we have one coating of titanium, and then we have another coating of titanium nitride. Okay, so this is focus ion beam milling scanning electron microscopy image, and this is telling us the surface cross sectional information. So in this focus ion beam milling, I'm writing that the information that I am getting is surface cross section. Yeah. Okay. So let's move down to atomic force microscopy. Okay. So just search atomic force microscopy. And here we go, atomic force microscopy, figure 11. Okay. So click figure 11 here, and you will find atomic force microscopy images. Okay. So atomic force microscopy, as the name suggests, atom-based microscopy. So in this microscopy, what happens is that you have the coating, you have got a very small 10 nanometer stylus, 10 nanometer tip, and that is going to scan slowly, and make this image which you are seeing on the screen. So slowly, it is going to scan. It is going to scan a very small area. In this figure, you can see that the area is 10, 20, 30, 30 microns by 30 microns. So very small area, 30 by 30 microns has been scanned, and you can see the surface texture. Okay. So with atomic force microscopy, I can see the surface texture, detailed surface texture. So I will write here detailed surface texture. You can also see what atomic force microscopy has been used. In addition, an atomic force microscopy in contact mode was used to observe topographical texture. Okay, so you can also write this here, to observe topographic texture. Okay, so scanning electron microscopy. What is scanning electron microscopy? Here you can see in one of the image. Okay, this is a scanning electron microscopy. Here it is. I think this is Zeiss, Carl Zeiss SEM. Let me make another one. SEM. So scanning electron microscopy is shown here in this figure. Okay. So scanning electron microscopy is also used to see surface topography / cross section. Now, what is this three-dimensional scanning system? What is the function of this? Okay, let me add scanning electron microscopy here so that I know what is. I will give this to you guys so that it is helpful to you. Focus ion beam. This is also focus ion beam milling also. So I think this is focus ion beam milling. Scanning electron microscopy is this one as well. So right here. Okay, this is SEM. This is focus ion beam milling. Next, we move to atomic force microscopy. So this is atomic force microscopy. Then we have a three-dimensional scanning system. Okay, so three-dimensional scanning system. So let's search 3D. So when I search 3D, you can see you have got 3 or 4 images. Okay, this is the image of the substrate, aluminum 7075. This is the image of titanium nitride coating, and this is the image of chromium nitride coating, and this is the image of titanium chromium nitride coating. Okay, so this is basically an example of a 3D scan image. Here you can see that a 3D scan has been carried out, and the surface profile or surface measurement has been taken place also. So just copy this, okay, so that you guys know what is 3D surface scan. Okay. Next is adhesion strength. Okay. So I am going to search adhesion. Okay. So when I go to adhesion, I see this image. Okay. Adhesion strength. In this adhesion strength image, I have optical microscopy. What is adhesion strength testing? It is a testing in which you have got the substrate. I put my coating. Then I have got a diamond indenter. That diamond indenter is going to go and start scratching very hard. It is trying to pull the coating out. So here you can see that the diamond indenter is trying to pull the coating out, okay, and it is scratching this coating until you see the substrate in this portion. Okay, so scratch testing is basically a process in which you scratch the coating and you get the value called critical load, the load at which the coating is going to fail. Okay, so this is scratch testing microscope result. So I'm going to put scratch testing here. I'm putting these things so that whenever you guys are going to read your papers, it is easier for you guys to know and understand what you are looking for. Somebody came. Nobody's here. So adhesion testing, then the last thing is dry sliding wear test. Okay. So you search wear testing. Wear testing is a process in which I have my sample and I'm going to quickly rub the material, quickly scratch and rub the material. So in this way, I know how much the amount of wear took place, how much the material is removed from the coating. Okay. So for wear testing, they have shown this machine. So I will put this machine here, or I can put the results of wear testing. In wear testing, what happens is that you get the value of friction coefficient and amount of wear. So the friction coefficient is here. The friction coefficient as a function of cumulative sliding distance. Friction coefficient as a function of sliding distance for substrate coating number 1, coating number 2, and coating number 3. Okay. So friction coefficient. So your third slide is what are you going to measure, or what has been measured in this paper regarding surface engineering. So these are the 6 things which I've highlighted. In all the papers, you will not get 6. Okay. So I want you guys present only 3. Okay. Present any. It's up to you guys what you want to present. Okay. So students can present any 3 properties. So slide number 1, title. Slide number 2, overview. Slide number 3, coating parameters and materials. Slide number 4, what you are measuring. Okay. Now after you know already what you are measuring, then you will write your result, what you have measured. Okay. So now it's time for results. So slide number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is property number 1, property number 2, property number 3. Then you have the end. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 slides in 10 minutes. Okay. Actually, the title slide does not require time. So you have 6 minutes to present, 10 minutes to present 6 slides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you guys have 6 slides in 10 minutes. So the reason for this exercise and for reading this journal exercise is for you guys to first go through my lecture and then correlate what you have learned through the practical that people have done already. Okay, that is my objective. And then whatever you observe, whatever you catch from the papers, you catch and then you present to us. Okay. In this way, I will be also correcting you guys in the presentation, and then at least you guys will have a good chance to learn from what you have seen. If you read yourself and then you ask something, then you will learn more. If I teach you something based on some narrative, then you will not learn much. Okay. So we have to present 3 properties. So in this example, I will present 3 properties. Okay. So property number 1 I want to present is surface roughness and texture. Okay. So where is this information? This information is here. Okay. So this is the surface roughness. So I will put it here. Okay. And this is the surface roughness figure also. Base material, coating material, all 3 of them. So I will use that. So my objective will be to describe these two figures. Okay, just write one or two lines. Also, you can write one or two lines. Okay, concluding lines. Write one or two results line. Okay, so you have to present what is happening with this surface roughness. Okay, you have to present it. Okay, when we do coating of titanium nitride, chromium nitride, and titanium chromium nitride, then the titanium nitride surface roughness was very high during after the coating, then followed by titanium, followed by chromium nitride, and then followed by chromium nitride. Okay, this is for plain surface. What happened after we do wear testing? After we do wear testing, because our aluminum has not been coated, so it undergoes a lot of damage. When it undergoes a lot of damage, then the surface roughness increases too much. So that is why the change in surface roughness for aluminum is too high. So this is something that you have to read from the paper and explain about this. Okay, so this is property number one, surface roughness. Okay, let's move to property number two, adhesion strength. Okay, how strong my coating is sticking to the substrate. So I will go and I will add the data of adhesion strength. The adhesion strength data is here. Okay, so I will put it here. Adhesion strength data. Okay, so you are going to describe here what do you see or what do you observe from the adhesion strength. So based on the adhesion strength, let me give you an highlight or overview that you are going to see in adhesion strength. Okay, number one, failure point. Number two, failure load. So as you can see in the figure, the failure load is about 1300. Okay, it should be mentioned also. So failure load was equals to 1300 millinewton. Then you're going to show failure of coating, adhesion failure of the coating. So go and read the article, okay, and you will find the failure of the coating. Okay, coating hardness and adhesion strength. Okay, no chipping of forever. Failure number of Newton. So if failure data is not available, then you cannot write anything about failure. But here you can see that the failure point occurred at 436.33 Newton, here when the substrate is exposed. This is the coating part you can see, and here is the part where substrate has been exposed. It means coating is fully finished, gone already. Okay, so there are two types of failure. One is adhesive and cohesive failure. So if the article is mentioned, then mention about failure, otherwise mention about some other characteristics. So property number one, surface roughness. Property number two, surface adhesion. Property number three is tribology, friction or wear. Okay. So you can put friction coefficient graph. Search friction coefficient. Okay, this is the friction coefficient graph. So copy this, paste it. Okay, put the label also. Okay, and then you have to define the friction characteristics. Okay, here the friction characteristics are written, variated friction coefficient. So the typical kinetic friction coefficient are given for these materials. A common characteristic in our graph is increase in friction coefficient as the load increases. So very easy thing. As the load increases, friction coefficient increases. So this is a very important point. Next, what happens between coating? So if I go here, then let's say then you can show that for chromium nitride, it's written here that abrupt rise in friction coefficient may signify and prove coating failure. So looks like for chromium nitride, the rise in friction coefficient, as you can see from the graph, okay, abrupt rise, it shows maybe the coating has failed already. Okay? So these are some of the characteristics that you have to write and define. Okay, here is another friction coefficient graph with respect to load. So basically, this is my substrate. This is my friction coefficient testing equipment. So how much load it is going to put and then do the rubbing? Is it slowly, smoothly, or I am going to put a lot of load and then I am going to do the friction coefficient testing? This is something that is defined as friction coefficient versus load. So here you will see friction coefficient versus load diagram. And here you can see that you've got 3 coatings and 1 substrate. So for the substrate, you can see that it is friction coefficient is for titanium nitride coating, the friction coefficient is very high. For chromium nitride, it is one of the lowest. And for titanium chromium nitride, it is the most least. So these are some important data that you can recover from the table. That's it. No need to do any conclusion. Okay, so this is the end of your slides. Maybe you can write here just the end and one conclusion from paper, one line conclusion. So this is the concept of presentation. Very simple. Okay, first extract the surface engineering related data, put it in the presentation, then see what are the properties measured, analyze the properties which are measured, and then write them or speak them during the presentation with the help and aid of figures. Okay, so this is something I have covered. You can also put atomic force microscopy picture also. Okay, I have put the atomic force microscopy picture. So if you want to select AFM, then you can select AFM to define one of the property. But at least we should have 3 types of surface properties based on the papers. Okay, so I'm going to add these guidelines. Okay, during the presentation, what I'm going to evaluate. Okay, so during evaluation, so evaluation will be based on rubrics. It will show your understanding. So I'm going to evaluate your understanding, presentation, communication. Okay, whether you are speaking English, I mean, not even my English is correct or fluent, but at least your communication is quite nice, then it is good. So presentation communication, your presentation body skills, okay? Then your content of the presentation, then your depth of understanding of properties, surface properties and coatings, and last but not least, your arrangement and layout based on the layout that I have given. Okay, it should be neat and clean and tidy. And if I ask questions, then able to give justified logical reasoning. So these are some things that I will be evaluating for you guys from the presentation. So I'm going to upload all of these guidelines as a PDF. So save as PDF MA3 presentation guidelines. Okay. And I will be uploading research papers also. It is here. So I'm going to create a classwork. It will be assignment 355 underscore presentation. 5 underscore presentation. Dr. Kazi, okay. Please refer to slides. Add a file. The 20 papers will be uploaded, and then I have to this will be and schedule will be discussed among yourself peers. Somebody asked something. Message. Doctor, about our presentation, is it possible to make it in pairs, 2 students for one topic, as we are full of activity on hand at the moment, so we students will do presentation in turn? Okay, let me contact coordinator, okay, and I will ask him whether you guys can give in 2 topics, 2 students together, okay. So I will ask the coordinator and then I will inform you, okay. I guess, yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. So presentation schedule based on the PA. So I created this and assigned to all of you guys, okay. And I have to upload all the papers also, okay. So instruction, I have to upload papers. So create, add a link. So I will upload a link. Upload a link of 20 papers in front of you later on, tomorrow, I think, or day after tomorrow. 20 marks, total marks is 20. Due date is at least by 27 is the last final day. Time is at least 9 p.m. Okay guys, so this was all about presentation. During the making of presentation, while you guys are making the presentation, while you guys are reading the paper, okay, sometimes you might be confused, doctor, should I add this property or should I remove this property? So feel free to WhatsApp me, okay, don't worry, just message me and hopefully I must reply to you guys. So any confusion on papers, then do ask me, okay doctor, is it correct, should I write this or not? No problem, okay. But at least I have uploaded the presentation template, 6 slides for all students.